Hello everyone, I am Tacet, and today I'm going to be going over the Gems of War Cold Time Rockin' Troll event, in which the Ice Troll is added to the game. So let's get into that. So we also get a weapon. As you can see here, we have a Daemon's Lash. It is completely useless though. It is available for 1000 glory if you want to get it just to add it to your inventory. You're better off just using War and Peace, which you end up getting after you do the Adana Kingdom, and then after you do the Kaziel Kingdom. From previously doing the Adana Kingdom, you'll then get a little bonus thing at the end there, and I'll end up giving you a War and Peace weapon that hits all enemies and does a little bit of attack buff to your allies. But that is way superior to this. This does damage to an enemy, and if it has a Daemon, it'll deal 12 damage to another random enemy. There really isn't a single instance you would ever use this. It's only 14 mana, and yeah, there's just really no point in ever bothering with that weapon. As far as the Ice Troll, a little bit more useful. As far as the Arcane Trait Stone, it is a epic, so you do end up getting 2 Arcane Trait Stones per pack that you get, which comes out to 200 glory each, meaning if you need yellow-purple for anything, definitely a really good time to go and stock up. Earlier on in the game, you'd want to throw it on Herdmaster first, and later on in the game, you definitely want to throw it into a Divine Ishbala if you haven't already gotten her traded from when she was in the Soulforge like 2 or 3 weeks ago. Anyways, as far as the Ice Troll itself, it's the first one of the trolls to have a double-double. It doubles the amount of blue gems and then doubles the amount of brown gems. This can be a little bit annoying, similar to Vinoxia and Eurofireman and other similar troops like that, where the gems that they spawn will overspawn on top of each other and basically just get in the way of each other, which is quite unfortunate. But more often than not, you still be able to get a decent amount of mana generation off them. And it does work if there's only like a small amount as well. So let's say there's only like 7 and 7. There's still a decent chance that it would end up landing one or the other. Just really annoying that it does block itself out. As far as colors, of course, it is a yellow-purple, and this actually does fit into a couple different teams where standard blue generators that currently exist wouldn't have worked, so that's pretty nice. It also has an Icy Storm. Whenever an enemy dies, it'll end up creating a blue storm. This is pretty relevant given that it doubles the blue first, so it'll get the really high value of the doubling the blue, and then it'll get the little bit of brown afterwards. So basically, he's kind of like a different color sea troll in a way, because he's going to be creating so many blue between the two that you could basically just view it as just a blue spawner due to how many more blues it's going to be creating compared to brown. But anyways, that is that. As far as the other things, this is obviously a very insanely good week to go throw down event keys. I personally won't be, as I did get lucky enough earlier when the Kingdom came out to actually get all the drops. But do keep in mind, there's a lot of really good stuff, and if you've been eyeing any of the newer troops, definitely a great time to go get some Doomskull mechanics. Of course, while Doomskull's kind of already existed since the patch, it only really came into the game a few days ago when actual troops were added that have the capability of placing Doomskulls on the board. But if you were to open up event keys, a good majority of the drops will be the following: Bonebinder, Ice Goblin, Ice Troll, Jebhammer, King Bloodhammer, and Glaceon. And yeah, that's it. So those 6 of them, these 3 and those 3, will be basically a good majority of your drops. And of course, every single legend will either be a Glaceon or a King Bloodhammer, the 2 most relevant out of all of them. A Glaceon transforms all yellow to blue gems, and then all reds to Doomskulls, and then freezes the strongest enemy, which is whichever one has the highest durability. Speaking of highest durability, it has the 3rd highest skull reduction in the game as well at 65%, only behind Gorgolfa at 75%, and the Stonehammer at 80%. So really nice in that regard, has immune to freeze too, gains a little bit of attack every single time the enemy takes skulls. Really nice overall. We also have King Bloodhammer. This is such an amazing final trait. I definitely underestimated this by a lot when he first came out on Friday, but yeah, it is amazing. It is very easily countered still. That hasn't really changed. It summons a Doomskull when an enemy dies, so of course it can be countered by 2 ways: not dying on the enemy team, or if they do a storm of their own, they of course could replace it out immediately. Also, I guess the 3rd way is they could technically just use your Doomstorm. It's not like it only affects you, it affects the enemy as well on their turn, so it goes both ways. But as far as its ability, it deals damage to the 2 strongest, and then transforms all blue gems to Doomskulls, and then it just gets a lot of Doomskulls, gets a kill, creates even more Doomskulls, and just keeps cascading into the like 5 whole instant kills. It's pretty funny. Probably one of the most chaotic troops in the entire game right now. Can either be instant win for you or instant win for the enemy, pretty much instantly. It's a bit of an odd troop. Definitely very, very powerful though. It's just a bit inconsistent for doing things like, let's say, Guild Wars, Invasion, Raid, stuff like that. While you still can use it in those game modes, it's something you may want to shy away from just because it could backfire heavily. But anyways, that's pretty much everything in the event key drop pool. Let's go take our tribute Only a 6 tribute. Anyways, let's go over the other event stuff. As far as the actual event things, we have to go kill a bunch of things in PvP. This is a pretty easy week. Most people are already going to be in PvP a lot just from doing normal gold farming and stuff. But yeah, anything you kill in PvP, so casual PvP would be the easiest way to grind this on 1 trophies, or you can simply just do it in ranked PvP and get your all the other rewards. There's 10% to all Dhrak-Zum, and there's also 10% to all the dwarves, and there are several of both those typings getting 20% within the kingdom, which is nice. And other than that, we also get 40 souls for whenever we use an Ice Troll and Explore. Given that the event objective is associated with PvP, you probably wouldn't want to use this. But if you did want to, you can go and maybe use some kind of soul farming team with like a Dragon Soul and all that, which I believe I have one set up. If you do need to go and Tradestone farm, you may need to for one of the 2 new legends. The 2 good places for that is Urskea for brown-red, as well as Dhrak-Zum for brown-purple, if you needed it for either of the 2 new troops. So we'll just go into Explore, and we could use something like this team over here, and use something like a Dragon Soul, Fairshra, Ice Troll, and Umberwolf. And of course, as long as we have the Ice Troll on the team, we will get that 40 additional souls. Really just plop into any team. You could even just run it with the Sunbird and Firebomb, of course, and any other combination that you might want to put it into. So let's go get our mana up pretty much immediately, get our purple going, get our red going. Nice little cascade, didn't actually give us what we need. All we have to do from here is just get Dragon Soul up, and should pretty much be good to go. Have Umberwolf here just so we have the Storm, so we pretty much just auto-win from the constant extra turns that we end up getting from it. So one more hit will do it, and that will be the final thing we need to max out our souls. And I think that comes out to like about 300 souls or so. Of course, we do have the Fairshra and everything. Yeah, 318. I always it feels so weird now because the Moon makes your soul value just strange because it's always at a very weird percent until you get it up to like 5%. Even then, it would probably still look like a somewhat weird soul drop. But there we go, 318. Not too bad. As far as the Soulforge this week, nothing really too relevant. The only 2 things that are somewhat more relevant is, though still probably not worth crafting, is Corvash. He's pretty good on brown and blue Guild War days, and of course this is a Guild War week. He has a double drain. He's the best stunner in the game as well, being able to double stun on his ability, as well as the best stun on his final trait, which just randomly stuns whenever anything gets an extra turn on your team. So it definitely has some potential. If you need it for Guild Wars, maybe, though overall, probably not worth going out of your way to craft. Those things like Tesla from last week and stuff like that are a bit better than that. While Corvash is nice, it's not any kind of really good kill card. It's more of a support troop than anything else. And if I'm not mistaken, this is the first time that Undyne has been available in the Soulforge since he was released about a month and a half, 2 months, whenever it was ago. So if you didn't end up getting him then and you wanted him for collection purposes, he is around. He's not particularly useful, but again, if you wanted him just for collecting, he is around now. And other than that, nothing else is really that relevant in here today. So let's go over a couple teams. I will be covering an entire video later on going over pretty much just teams related to the new kingdom. But let's go over just 2 right now, mainly using the new stuff. So first off, we're going to go try using the new Ice Troll, this time with a Glaceon and the new Ice Golem as well. Pretty much the whole team is new other than the Justice. We're going to be using the Justice just to hold down the team, keep getting our freezes down, and pretty much just go from there. It does have a Queen map, so unfortunately we won't be able to freeze that, but the rest of the team, we will be able to go and get that on. So right off the bat, we're going to want to get our mana to start throwing down our abilities if we can. Doesn't really matter which one, as long as we can start getting something that can generate mana. So he will get 1 freeze on us. That's actually a little bit annoying that he got that off the Queen map. Could definitely get in our way, given that that is a blue. And I don't actually have a cleanse on this team, so yeah, that could definitely be bad. We don't have any... we don't have any green, so this 5 times green right here will not end up doing anything. We do have our banner set to a -1 on it, though, so we are still utilizing the fact that we don't have a green. But right here, we do have an extra turn. We'll go grab it right there with the Convert. Of course, there's all reds to Doomskulls, which is very effective, though we've reached a point where we now have a whole board of blue, which is, yeah, kind of bad, given the current state of us being frozen on blue. But we'll go move that over. Nothing else. We could easily win without really poking at the blue. We could try, like, doubling this and try getting on the other thing. We could go for these little small explosions and try getting off that way. So I don't believe we have any alignment. Even if we did, it'd probably be on blue, so we wouldn't be able to use it. One other reason for why we're actually using Justice is we can use it on Doomskulls, by the way. You can do that with any of them that are like that, any of the Guardians and the Devoted as well, and basically anything that can specifically target a gem. So, ooh, do we go for this? I think I'm going for it. Probably gonna regret it, but we'll get a lot of the board cleared out. And then we'll probably go for try creating some Doomskulls. We still have not unfrozen on it, so I'm just going to go for that. Try getting this Doomskull down. Don't believe we have any alignments, and even if we did, it'd probably be on the blue, which we can't even use. So we'll go for that, get our Doomskulls down, and as you can see, really heavy impact off of Doomskulls. Doomskulls are pretty crazy. And now that we're finally unfrozen, we can go and try using maybe the Troll again, I guess, since we do have a pretty nice board set up. Those browns blocked our blues out, but luckily they did land for an extra turn. Right here, we'll just go throw this onto Doomskulls. We can keep throwing this too. One thing that's really nice about the Ice Goblin is it's actually the cheapest mass freeze in the entire game. Like, if you don't have a Queen Mab, you don't really need to worry anymore. Because, of course, Queen Mab can be a little hard. She's a legendary, plus you need her fully traded to even have her freeze. And while she is the best freeze in the game, she's a little bit towards the expensive side. But now you got this guy. And this guy's really easy to obtain. He's an ultra rare. You could probably get him in like 10 or less event keys, probably like 5 because of how concentrated he is within the event key drop table. But yeah, really, really easy to obtain. And he explodes 2 gems every single time he does his ability, automatically gains an extra turn, and he freezes a random enemy. Of course, it's completely random, but most freezes are. And yeah, you can definitely stack up quite a few of those, and you're gaining like half his mana back every single time. He's not as good as a Goblin Rocket in most situations, but he's, again, the cheapest mass freeze you can get, so that's alone is basically makes him worth it. We'll go throw that down. Even if that wasn't enough damage, we could have just kept throwing Justice onto Doomskulls and go down that way. And of course, I'm pretty sure you guys know what I'm going to be doing for the next team. Actually, before I do, let's go use this against Goblins. Might as well throw it down one more time, just for fun. Because, of course, we do have a mass freeze, just to kind of show what we could do with this. Because this is a nice, really nice alternative. Of course, it doesn't have to specifically be this team. If you need this team to be even cheaper, you can just go replace Glaceon with basically any brown tank. Doesn't even matter what it is. And just do, or even just build an entire team around Ice Goblin. Ice Goblin is surprisingly good at countering out other goblins, because, of course, goblins are weak against freeze. Wouldn't be as good if the enemy team also had an Ice Goblin on it, though a good majority of goblin teams do not run it. That, or a lot of people haven't bothered switching into it yet. Oops, I forgot to take that purple. But we'll go throw this down. Of course, every freeze we do is going to be super effective, given that he is a goblin team. And, of course, we go and do it on the one that doesn't have... the one thing on his team that doesn't automatically have an extra turn. Slight fail right there, but of course we don't get the target on what it does. And there we go, we got it on something useful this time around, and as you can see, he just gets his mana right back up, and he even gives other things mana. So we're going to throw this down, hopefully get our other thing to full mana. Before I do, let me throw this down for free real quick, and then go for the double. Hopefully we'll get it, and we do indeed land it. Get his mana right back up once again. No alignments here to go use, so can't do that. Nothing really worth taking around here. Guess we'll try for... just taking this blue and maybe go into Justice. See if that gives us anything. Not really. We'll go throw this down again. Trying to get a good enough board to do something off of. There we go, finally. We go throw this down because we have the extra turn just sitting there. And yeah, we can keep it on our turn for a very long duration. We have a lot of Explode because of Doomskulls. We have a bit of board clear. We have our Justice, so we can keep just plowing him down with this. And yeah, it goes pretty well. We'll go for a little bit more board clear because I don't have any alignment, I don't believe, unless I'm missing it somewhere. So we can take that down, but that's not a free turn. So we'll go for some explosion here. Get that in there. Not a free turn, though it is so much value that I might just go for it. We'll move this that way. And yeah, I think we're just going to go for it. So we'll take that, get our kill. It's frozen, so even if it gets an extra turn, it's not going to be able to keep it, so that's fine. We'll go and I guess get an explosion in there just to give us a slightly better board, then go do it onto Doomskulls since there's so many of both. Get that down, and that just takes it out immediately. Take out another one, and there we go. And as you can see, we keep getting a lot of attack and HP. One other thing really nice about using Justice, I didn't even go and show it. I am trying to get a little bit better at showing all the things. I know I sometimes don't explain a couple of them that we use a lot. Really do need to make sure I try explaining each one every single time. But for any of you that don't know what a Justice does, you easily get it just from being within a guild, just from doing a couple guild keys. Within about like 20 of them, you'd probably end up finding at least one Justice, a really, really common troop. Getting it fully traded is not necessary, plus it's extremely expensive, but just having this guy, main reason why he's really nice, he's actually the best of the 6 troops that are like this, mainly because he has all of them have a 4 times boost ratio, but for whatever reason, Justice increases 2 stats with that 4 times boost ratio instead of just 1. So it increases both attack and life for every single blue enemy on the opposing team. So you can end up stacking up a lot of stats simply from just having a single freeze on the opposing team. Not to mention if you had the entire team frozen, you'd get even more. And you could easily do that with an Ice Golem simply from constantly spamming out his ability and then just do that into a Justice and keep getting attack and HP onto all your allies. It doesn't even really need that boost ratio. You could completely do it with no freezes on your team, but it's nice to have just because it gains so much extra value compared to other boost ratios within the game. Anyways, of course, the moment of truth. The absolute best team, or at least the one I found so far. If you guys have any other suggestions, do feel free to leave them. But from my testing, this is by far the best team that you could possibly use with the new troops. Pretty sure there are a few out there. I will be trying to cover a few other ones in the upcoming videos as well. But for now, from what I can tell, this is among the best, if not the best, that you can really go and bother crafting. One nice thing about it is it uses 0 mythics, so most of this is available right now, other than the Gorgoltha. Apothecary is super cheap, it's only an ultra rare. Both of these 2 legends are in the event key drop table right now, and the only thing that you would really need is a Gorgoltha, though I guess you technically could replace that with just about any tank, or even just any kind of mana generator, or almost anything. Only reason I'm specifically using a Gorgoltha, well, there's 2 reasons. One is for board clear. It's really good at board clearing, and he has 75% reduction, which is just going to be helpful, because if you accidentally miss, you're going to be hit with a lot of damage. So right here, I want to try getting Apothecary, but we'll just go for board clear instead, because this board isn't really being that nice to us. I can easily do that whenever it's bad with that troop. And I do not want to have to get rid of red here, but I will if I must. Okay, we'll do it on yellow, actually. Another color I kind of don't want to get rid of, but it's better than getting rid of red. So right here, we do have alignment on that, and I believe we just auto-win at this point. Generally, once you get this team going with the Doomstorm is just absolutely crazy. You just get it, and then you hit like 5 different skulls right there. And as you can see, in one single cascade, we have completely destroyed the entire enemy team. And yeah, that's pretty much the power of using those 2 together. And yeah, it's just really effective. Pretty much the second you get it down, you instant win. Of course, you have to be very careful if you do lose your turn or you're frozen or any other kind of thing. You will get hit with a lot of damage back, and you definitely will get hit hard if the enemy tries going for it. They can do that exact same thing just back to you. And wow, why is there so many Doomskulls? We don't even have a Doomstorm active yet. I'll go take all that mess. It feels like it is, even though it isn't. But we'll go and get down another hit somewheres. Never mind, he'll just kill himself out. Come on, that wasn't even a battle. Let's go do one more. That wasn't even anything. Of course, it was 4 times Firebomb, but here we go. Here's some goblins. A little bit of a weirder goblin team, but we'll go do this, I guess. We do have freeze on this team too, by the way, so we can semi-counter goblin teams with this. We have a freeze on the strongest enemy off of the Glaceon, which, while that doesn't really do too much, that's still going to be pretty effective, especially since it's a team that's really dependent on that mechanic. So right here, I will want to get a nice Apothecary. What's nice about Apothecary too is we don't even need to worry about things like Entangle or Freeze or really anything against us. So if our thing got entangled from someone using like the meta Forest Guardian team, you know, with the Queen Mab and all that people tend to run with Dawnbringer, you can easily go and try countering that out by just going and constantly getting your cleanse off, constantly having the cleanse both off of not just Gorgoltha's ability, but also on the Apothecary that ends up getting on everyone. So that's pretty useful. We'll see what we have here. It doesn't look like we have any good alignments. I do not want to get rid of reds. Out of everything on the board, that is not one I want to do. So we'll go for the green here. And that doesn't give us exactly what we want. Trying to do this now. Oh, never mind. We have it on blue. So we'll go grab that first. Ideally, we would want to get that the other way around, but it can still work as long as we get enough explosions. And that is definitely enough explosions, that is for sure. So again, we have our alignment. Just get it right back down again. Get another freeze. Unfortunately, it's the strongest. One bad side of this is it's never really going to hit the first slot since they keep getting hit with skulls. It's generally going to hit something further down the line. But let's go get a Gorgoltha here. Just the Gorgoltha alone ends up hitting it so hard. It looks like we hit it so hard that it glitched into oblivion. And there's the skull hit back that you just saw off of that. They can hit you very, very hard, and that's kind of why we use the Gorgoltha up front. Again, it doesn't have to be Gorgoltha, but it helps to negate out some of the effect of them just going crazy with the Doomskulls, and it's bound to happen just from bad luck. And as you can see, that thing's just glitched out. It's actually dead. It's just being all weird, but down it goes. And even after all that, it still shows it's alive. After like 3 whole Doomskull piles after the fact. But yeah, that's the new kingdom. Definitely highly, highly, highly advised to go and get the new troops. Oh, well, let's go do one more. Might as well. Go do it against someone who's basically using all the new stuff as well. But yeah, highly advised using your event keys this week. One of the best weeks that you could really use on. Assuming you don't have them yet. If you do already have them, I'd probably just use an orb on both of them instead, as there aren't really too many other drops. Once you have both of them, just simply use one orb on both, and boom, they'll be mythic. I'm personally keeping both of mine at legendary, mainly because it's not necessary to go and mythic them for I'll get it right eventually. For a 5-star kingdom, you did not need to go and upgrade any of them that far, so I didn't even bother. But you can easily 5-star a kingdom right now, assuming you have all 9 of the troops within the kingdom, and it'll end up doing that for you. So we'll go take a skull here. Actually, you know what? Let's take the brown, get a board clear, go from there. So, get that down for Apothecary. If we have this, we'll throw it, but I don't believe we have, and no, we do not. Apothecary, I don't even think we have that either. Well, I guess we'll just go for some mana here. Go, Glaceon. And we'll should be good to go. So we get this down. That'll give us all the alignment we will need. Get that in there. That will destroy everything. 65% reduction goes down like nothing. And that's dead. As soon as you see the team, it goes down. But yeah. As far as balance is concerned, it went out the window some time long ago. But, yeah, this guy's Doomskull thing, as you can see, it does seem a little bit out of control as far as how it currently functions, that is for sure. Still don't know what my full take is on it at the moment, as far as within the scale of everything else. I've personally been using this team as about like 90% of my battles lately, just because it feels bad using anything else compared to this, just because it wins in like a minute flat most of the time, because basically just what you saw at the end of the battle is what happens a good majority of the battles. It doesn't really have many counters. Even Skull Reflect doesn't affect it much, Entangle doesn't affect it much since you have 2 cleanse, and nothing really counters it, unfortunately. Yeah, it's really annoying to deal with. If you are finding people that are running a lot of these things and you happen to not have them yourself, do try running Entangle, try running Attack Reduction, though do keep in mind, this isn't like a guarantee way to really negate it, since it's still going to be able to hit through. Every single Doomskull ends up doing 5 additional damage, and that can go on top of the fact, even if they have 0 attack, they can still do a pretty substantial amount of damage. So you could even, anything you really do to it isn't really going to negate it out. Even trying to remove all the scrolls from the board, that's not going to help much. If you are going to do that, Finley could be okay, but still, it's a weird mechanic. Not really much to counter it, but still, I do have to say, a lot of fun to use, if nothing else. So we'll see what happens to it in the future. Definitely something worth considering to get them both, but other than that, that's pretty much it for this video. If you guys have any other questions or anything you want me to go over with them, let me know. I will be covering in more in-depth team video on all of them later on. If you have anything else that you might want to mention for that, feel free to leave them below. And anyways, guys, I'll see you all later. Have a wonderful week, and best of luck with the key openings that you may be doing. Goodbye, everyone!